And you have no idea. I really do not take this for granted because I know this is not something a mom would just open up, and talk about it on this platform.
You just have to inspire yourself, whichever way. Tell yourself it will be fine. That it will be fine, I think at a point helped me. The Lord is my strength. That was the only thing I used to say to myself.
Hello, Marianne. Thank you for accepting to join me on the I Am That Mom show. I'm so happy to have you here. How have you been?
Good, and thank you for having me.
Today's topic I know is quite sensitive, but it'll also be very educative. And I really want to thank you for opening up and sharing this story and experience of yours with us. It means so much to me. I know it will be a blessing to other moms. So today's topic will be the grief and healing after the loss of a baby. Now, I know, Marianne, you lost your child. Do you want to walk us through how it all happened?
Okay. Thank you for having me once again. And let me just say this. This is the first time I'm actually sharing my story. I haven't really talked about it extensively, not anywhere. So along the line, if I get a bit emotional, just pardon me.
It's okay. And you have no idea. I really do not take this for granted because I know this is not something a mom would just open up, and talk about it on this platform. If it was just the both of us, I know you'd be fine. But for lots of different moms, all over the world to be hearing this, I really want to say you're a strong woman and I do admire you for this.
Thank you. So, let me just give a background of how things. So, my husband and I, young couple, we are expecting so much joy. And I started my hospital antenatal. It was when I was 12 weeks or so. That was when the doctor told me that my placenta is very low. So we didn't worry about that until the dawn that everything happened. And this is one hospital that it was a private hospital, very well known in Tema. I can't mention the name. The doctor is also known. And there's a hospital that at any appointment of antenatal, you go through a scan. So they check the baby and all that. And even as I was growing, I should say we were growing, the doctor didn't really tell me if placenta was positioned well or not. I didn't have, so I presumed, of course, maybe then, meaning everything is fine. Right. Until I got to around 32 weeks. There was one dawn in bed that I realized that I was wet. I woke up and rushed to the washroom. That was when I realized my water was just flowing. So at the washroom, frankly, I was asking myself, how? Because what I know is until your time is up or you're due, that is when you see that. I went back to the room, told my husband that we should go to the hospital, but I'm not really comfortable how things are going. We got there and the nurses rushed on me. They said they have to check baby's heartbeat due to the complaints that I had made. So checking baby's heartbeat, baby is fine. Now we have to wait for the doctor to come. Fortunately, doctor got in and doctor had another scan done. And with the scan, doctor was like, the fluid around baby is like dried up, sort of. And if an emergency CS is not done immediately, we might lose baby, or like from what he was saying, we have to save someone.
Yeah. Okay.
So immediately I told the doctor that you're scaring me already. He said it to me, that's the only option we have now. And either now or I don't know. I was rushed to the theater, CS was done, baby was brought out, and I saw the baby, and she was very tiny. An ambulance was prepared. Baby and daddy joined the ambulance and they went for labor. And I had to stay to heal for some time in the hospital, or I also joined. So I think that's how my wound started. Yes, that's how my wound started at Kolebu. And the first time I saw my baby at Kolebu in Niku, I cried. I wouldn't say I shed tears. I cried. I had not seen a baby like that before.
Wow.
I've not seen a baby like that before. This was a baby who weighed less than 1 kg. She was very tiny. So I was asking myself, is it that all that I was eating, she was not also eating, or like, was she not feeding? Some of the answers I got it later on, but the harm had already been caused. Nico was stressful. I won't lie. You feed baby too early, and you have time with baby for like 45 minutes. That you have to express, feed her, and maybe have time. That is just within the 45 minutes. Just after that time, you have to leave.
Wow.
It is not that you have to. In fact, they are sucking you to leave. Yes.
Yes. So you had to leave and go home, leave your baby at Kolebu and go home?
They had a hostel for mothers.
Okay.
A hostel for mothers. So we had to go find a hostel, a place to live, because we can't drive all the way from Tema all the time to Kolebu. At Niku, baby will be in the care of the nurses for some time. When they realize that maybe baby is doing well, then they move you to a ward still in the Niku.
Okay.
Where baby will be with the mother.
Wow. So how did you feel, or what happened after you guys left the hospital and you came back home?
I was relieved at the time, because staying more than a month in the hospital was not something nobody would want, something else. So I was a bit relieved when I came home.
So she started to do well after you came home. Was she eating? Was she growing well?
At home, with my husband, my help was my elder sister at the time, and bathing her was a no for me. I could not. It was my sister who was doing that. I could not do that. At home, I would say most of my time I just used to cry. That's it. Wow. Especially when I'm alone with her. I was just tears. You feel you could get somebody to talk to, but like who? What are we going to talk about? After all, what I have is what's in front of me. So, and it's like, what are you going to tell me for me to be convinced that it's going to be okay? See that thing. Yeah. I was not calling anybody. Seriously. Yeah. I don't think I was making calls. No.
So you kept to yourself. You were just by yourself.
It was either my husband or my sister.
Did you think you went into a state of depression?
My sister will cry. I also cry.
Oh, wow.
That's it. She will cry. If I start to say anything, she will start crying. I'm also crying.
How did your husband? How was your husband handling all of this? What was his demeanor like?
He he wouldn't. You know how men are. He won't show it to you because he knows what you're going through. So he will come and encourage you. He will come and be playful. He will come and try to cheer you up. You see, because when you close it from work, we were all in Tema, although different communities, because I moved to my sister's place. He will come there and immediately you see me, you know that there's something wrong with this girl. But he will just try to be playful, to cheer you up, to go play with the baby, you see, that kind of thing. And before he leaves, he just tells you that everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. See, and that's, I'm hearing everything will be fine, but I'm not seeing that everything. You see that thing?
During that moment, were you praying to God? Were you hoping for answers? Were you hoping for a healing? Or you just were like, okay, whatever happens.
I wouldn't say I was not praying, but even if I was, I know I was praying, but the edge, it was like you're praying, but that's the, should I say faith? You're already frustrated. You are frustrated. So you say something and you just hope that yes, it happens. If it doesn't happen, like down, you're down. You see, things are not really going the way you think, and you're wondering. Sometimes I go back. You know, like I was then I was a children's service teacher, and how committed I was, and how with the children and the department and all that. I go back and I'm asking God, like, did I not do something? You see, like, was it something I did wrong? Did I mistreat somebody? Was it that although I was in the department, I was so serious, so like this thing should happen to me? Because it's not like I had been pregnant before, nothing of that sort. It is not like I have mistreated a child or something. So I'm asking, is it that my service then was not needed? So why this? So why should I have my own and go through all the stress? Otherwise, then don't give it to me anyway.
That's where you got to. That was the point you got to.
I kept asking, but of course, you're dealing with God here. He does what he wants. So,
At what point did the bad news happen?
The bad news happened with me actually. I went to church. It was where I was fellowshipping for all night. Yes, it was for all night. So I went for all night. That day there was like a lot of people. I think there was a program, so the whole place was packed. We couldn't get our usual spot, so we sat behind, and it rained that day, so the weather was cold. So I was with her, and I realized that her palms and feet were cold. Then I was with my in-law, my brother's wife, and I told her that nice sweet treat. Yeah. I was asking her, I said, is in someone in the nine why I knew? And she also felt it and was like, Sister Maya, Nibiana, insu ato on say, yes, auntie is whether my unity, Nibiana, sir. So I just wore her mittens and her socks again. At the time I was still feeling it. I don't know if it was a feeling, it was something I just felt within me that something was not right. I just felt within me that babies, and it's not happened to her before. So how? So she also started crying, and she was the type that she really didn't like eating. She didn't like food. Let me say, even the medicine that you give to her, she either vomits or something. She just didn't like food. So it's like there's not much weight gain with her. So on that day, or I should say that night, I decided that let me just pour out her pap for her to eat. I poured it to a certain level. I knew that there's no way she would finish it. But on that day, she finished that. She finished the whole bowl I poured. I gave her water. She drank enough. So I bagged her and we were walking around by the premises of the church. So we're just walking around thinking that she would sleep. She didn't really sleep. I just came back to sit in the. I went for the all night with my sister, my brother, and my brother's wife. So my sister came and took baby.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, she would sleep. So she was just on my sister's lap. And when we closed, my sister carried her. The way she carried baby on her shoulders, and how baby's head just went down, I felt something, but I was like, oh no, maybe it's because she's sleeping. So you see, when you're asleep, you are kind of restless. So
Like a deep sleep.
So we sat in the car and everything. We were on our way home. That was when I think about two stops to my junction. That was when my sister shouted that, hey, Marianne, Obano movie. I'm saying, movie saying, I was at the front. My brother was driving. I'm saying, movie saying. So immediately my brother just stopped. He just stopped the car. And I came out from the car. She gave me AC. And it's true. AC is not moving. Like, you see, AC, I was just screaming. AC, she was not moving. She was kind of lifeless. But her body was warm. Her body was warm, but her feet and fingers, her palms were cold. So we were not too far from the Tema General Hospital. We we drove to General Hospital, and she had been there before, so they had her records of this hole in heart thing. So it was reported dead on arrival. It was something else. It was something else. It was something else.
How did that make you feel when you heard that news?
I was there at the hospital. I saw her. I gave her to the nurse. The nurse lay there on the bed. They were like checking everything. Every like they were doing anything they could do. But a doctor came in and it was asking, do you have a file and all that? I got them the file. They read through the file and they were like, so it was not like anything like being a police case or something, but it was just, she was just lying down like she was asleep. It was like she was asleep. It was.
Wow. Marianne, you are a strong woman. I'm so God bless you. God bless you so much for enduring this much for your child. I know that God knew the reason why He gave you that responsibility. I believe He knows that you could take care of Issy, even if it was just for a few months or for a few years. And I think you did the best you could as a mother. And so for that, I think you should be proud of yourself. Now, after AC left, how was it like for you and your husband?
Quit my job because of AC. Yes, I quit my job because of it. because I didn't have anyone there. It was my sister was very busy. My husband then was a banker, so not closing early. I didn't have anyone. My mother was also sick, down with stroke, so I quit the job.
Now, God bless Essie. I'm sure she's safely in the arms of God. Going forward, how many children? How many children do you have now?
To the glory of God, I have 3 children.
Hey,
A boy and 2 girls. A boy and 2 girls. Yes.
within the space of
It is 2 years after AC passed on. I had a boy.
oh, so it was just a year difference after.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you have a baby this year?
I had a baby last year.
Oh, so are we having a baby this year? No, because this have decided every year, every year. Do we expect? No, but Marian, so if there's a mom right now who finds themselves in your situation, who have probably lost a baby or is dealing with a child right now and they have no hope, you have been through it, what would be your advice to them?
One thing I would say to the mama is it's not easy that you go through all this. It is not easy. Just be yourself. You have to encourage yourself. No matter what, you have to encourage yourself. You have to speak to yourself. Speak with yourself. You can look yourself in the mirror and speak to yourself. Speak with yourself. Encourage yourself. Because nobody can do that for you. Nobody. They will call you, tell you this, that. After sometimes they call, they talk to you, but you end up not even remembering anything they said.
Yeah.
Because what you're going through is something to you, nobody's going through that.
Yeah.
You see? So if you don't encourage yourself, I'm telling you, you not know what you're doing. You just have to inspire yourself, whichever way. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself it will be fine. That it will be fine, I think at a point helped me. It will be fine. The Lord is my strength. That was the only thing I used to say to myself. It will be fine. I was not talking to anybody. I said earlier, not even WhatsApp. No, I didn't have that time for it. I pick my phone and I'm asking myself, so what do I say? I don't know. I didn't have anything. So to that mama going through that or have been through that and is still waiting upon the Lord, just encourage yourself. Do things you love to do. Do things you love. At a point, I joined my husband. My husband had left the bank and had opened his own office. I just joined him in the office. I'll go to the office, not do anything, but at least I've left home.
Yeah.
I've left the memories of AC at home.
Yeah.
And I'm in like a different space. Yes. So just do anything you think makes you happy. That's it.
Well, thank you, Marian. Thank you, Marian, so much for sharing this inspiring message with us. I mean, story of yours with us. I wanted us to talk more about, what happened after you had your babies, but I guess that will be for another day. That will be part 2, right?
I'm sorry.
Yes. But thank you so much for sharing this story with us. I'm sure lots of moms are going to be inspired, and you are the real hero.
It's just by grace.
Thank you so much.
I'm also grateful. I'm also grateful. And I thank my husband. I can't leave him out of this. In all this, he was just my backbone. You know that.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for also having me. Yes. My very first time sharing this.
We are so blessed to hear this, as being your very first time sharing this story. Thank you so much, Marianne. Thank you.
Sure, Maya. Thank you.